Custom splitting. If you've ever done delimiting or text to columns in Microsoft Excel, it's pretty similar. Let's do a simple example, right? Let's open up Excel and let's say I'm going to have an address. Let's say 10 Horse Road, Bonnyville. I don't know if that's how you spell Bonnyville, right? And we're going to do another address, 20 Elephant Road, Amazon. Right? And a lot of times when we do analysis or we want to map things, we want to be able to separate the two. Because let's say this is region, you want to get the region out of there with the address so that you can map things in region. So it's different levels of granularity or different categories, different levels of detail of information. So we want to split this into multiple columns. There's a few ways you can do it. The most obvious one is manually. I could grab, I'm just going to create a copy here just for our testing, right? I could grab the first one, paste it in here, get rid of this part, copy this in here, and then do that. And that's great for 2 rows. How do you do it for 2,000 rows or 20,000 or 2 million rows? I can't do individually. And that brings us to text to columns. And text to columns does exactly this. And we uses what's called a delimiter. And delimiter is really just a fancy word for where do you want me to split it? Okay, do you want me to use a letter? You want me to use a character? You want me to use a symbol? In this example, we're going to use comma, right? So it's going to split it into 2 cells. So you got 1 and you have 2. Let's go ahead and do that so you can see how it works. I'm just going to copy it over here first. Let's make this a little bit wider, like so. And in Excel, and you don't have to do this, is really just for an example, right? We go text to column, we want to delimit it, we want to use a comma, we want to go next, set the data types, whatever, finish. And as you can see, it's split them between the two. Tableau does the same thing, but it does it in much less clicks and it's a lot more efficient. It also means that if I can do this in Tableau, I don't have to do it in my raw data set. If, for example, let's open up this SuperStore raw data. Right, and we're going to be doing this test on the manufacturer and the product name, right? Let's grab this. I'm just going to look, oops, I went all the way to the bottom. Let's just clear this. Let's look for manufacturer. Let's go to the right. Where's manufacturer, manufacturer, manufacturer? All right, here we go. As you can see, there's a lot of commas in here, right? And the reason I want this split is because if I just sort this manufacturer, right, you're going to see a lot of these groups. So you got echo, 3-hole punch, 3-hole punch, 3-hole punch. And if I was going to do some sort of visual and I want to see, well, how many 3-hole punches do we have? I can't really do it with this data set because to a computer, oops, let me do that again. To a computer, these two data sets are completely different. And so I need to split that up first. Let's do that in Tableau. I'm going to close this. We don't need it. Let's get rid of this. Don't need that. And let's go into our raw file, which we have loaded up. To split in Tableau is freakishly easy, almost embarrassingly easy. When I show when I show people this the first time, they're just like, "Oh my God, it's ridiculous!" Right? Here we go. Manufacturer. Pay close attention because it's super crazy. I go and click this little symbol, or I can right-click here, right? And we have 2 options. We can do split or custom split. Split, Tableau will assume or guess what you're trying to split with. So if I can, if Tableau can see comma, 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 chameleon, right? It's going to split by comma. And as you can see from these two, it split them. And even cooler is that you keep the original one, which is here, and it creates the 2 splits. And if you so happen to have on with a second comma, it will do split 3, split 4, split 5, however many times you have in the data. That was 1 click. You can see that in Excel, I had to do a lot of prepping. The other annoying thing in Excel is when you do it to this first one, it actually gets rid of this first one and creates 2. But a lot of the times I need that original data set, right? And in here, we now have the 2 splits. And I can rename these to make it easier for myself. I can just double click here, or I think I can right click rename if you so prefer. And instead of calling it manufacturer split 1, let's call it manufacturer category, enter, and let's call this one manufacturer subcategory. Okay, now these data sets only exist in Tableau. They don't exist in my raw data set, which is actually better because if I'm downloading my information as a raw table extract from SAP or WiseNet or HubSpot or what else is there, Salesforce, whatever it could be, I don't want to have to do anything to that raw file. I just want to drop it in and Tableau does the rest for me. So it's less steps, right? So that's that part. And finally, let's do another one over here and we'll call it a day for this one. Let's say I want to split these ones, right? But I don't want to use the automatic split. I want to tell Tableau I want 3 columns, right? Split with the dash. So let's go ahead and click this. We go custom split this time because we want to control it. And let's say, actually, let's do a bit of customization. I'm not interested in this final number. I'm just interested in the first 2, right? I don't want to split that third one. I can actually go first 2 columns, right? We got IT and 2018, and I want to use dash. If I go OK, that will split just the first 2 and keep the first one. And let's say I want to do another one off that. Let's say I want 2018 and the second group, all right? I'm just going to go undo, right? We can do that again. We can go custom split. We can go last 2, right? We can go from the other side. Tableau can't do this. Tableau can do this. Tableau can do this. Excel can't do this. We go dash, and we go OK. And as you can see, it's pulled it from the right side. The only thing you can't do in Tableau, which you can in Excel, is if, let's say, the first one is a dash and the second one is a hash symbol. You can only do one symbol at a time, but that doesn't really matter because once I do this one for the dash, I have this one, and I can split this one again. Custom split, and then this one I would put in the hash and split it from there. So you have a lot of options. And again, you don't have to do this in your raw data set. Tableau will just remember every time you load it up. All right, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.